Hi, I'm Jodi. Welcome to my Stamp with Jodi YouTube channel. This is the Great American Stampin' Show, Season 3, Episode 11. And before we jump into my quick and creative card for today, I wanted to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel here, and also click on the link in the description to subscribe to my email list. Every single week, I send out a Tuesday tutorial. It's a free tutorial for a quick and creative card that gets delivered to your inbox every single week. I don't want you to miss out on that, so be sure to subscribe both to my YouTube channel and to my email list. Now, for my card today, I'm doing something I've never ever done before. I don't remember ever seeing anybody else do this. Now, let's be honest, there's a really good chance someone has, but I don't remember seeing it anywhere. It's just something that popped into my head that I thought that would be super cool to do. And so I'm excited to share it with you. It's an easy technique, but it just adds such a fun element to the project. So I'm really excited to share that with you. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's start by taking a look at template number 11. So like I said, it's episode 11, which means it's template 11. So we've got this here that's got basically four pieces. There's two squares in opposite corners and then two rectangles in opposite corners, and then a little piece here with what would probably be a greeting. So that is the template and my inspiration for the card that I'm showing you today. I'm going to use this designer paper. It's called Regal Winter. It's from our mini catalog, and it's exactly that. It's just some really regal, vibrant winter type colors. So on one side, you've got these floral images, and then I'll flip it over and pull it back in. And then you've got some monochromatic floral, but then you've also got some of these other patterns here. So some really, really pretty patterns to work with for winter cards. Then I'm using this stamp set called Simply Said. This is also from the mini catalog, or is it? This is from the annual catalog. Yeah, this is the annual catalog, sorry. But this is a great generic greeting set. I'm going to use the happy birthday out of this. So I'm just so excited to share this idea with you. And at first you're going to look and you're going to be like, that's a little basic. I'm not sure that's anything special, but wait for it. It will be worth it. Okay, so to start, I'm going to take these two pieces that I cut from that Regal Winter designer paper, and I'm going to attach them to a piece of basic black. And I'm just going to space it so that there's a little bit of a border on all three sides. And then we'll add the other piece and put a little bit of space between the two pieces of designer paper. So same thing over here, space it out a little, and then I've got that black coming right down the center also. So if you remember, there was in that template pieces like this, right? So there were two squares. Let me turn it that way and pull it up. So there were two squares on opposite corners, and then two rectangular pieces, and then a greeting in there. So this is what I'm going to start working with. Now, let me see here. I think I'm going to do the fun part next. I wanted to build up to it, but I think it's just what I need to do next because I need to get these in place. So what I am going to do, I looked at this and I thought, that's pretty cool. I like just pulling in that monochromatic and just highlighting the squares on those 2 points, but I felt like it needed something extra. And so this is the part that I've never ever done before. And like I said, I have never seen it done. There's a really good chance someone has, but I have not seen it. This just came out of my brain as I was designing yesterday. So I am setting this square on a piece, or excuse me, on the Versamark ink pad. I pulled that lid out of the way pretty quickly. And the Versamark ink pad, like I've literally in the past done classes just on the Versamark ink pad and all the things you can do with it. But what I am using it for now is an embossing technique. So I just put it on that whole square, and it's kind of a sticky, tacky ink, and I'm going to sprinkle clear embossing powder right on top. Okay, so this is just clear embossing powder, and it's right over our tray. So I'm just going to shake it a little bit, and then I'll pick up the corner here and just kind of tap off the extra. So I want to be careful that, you know, I want to tap off the extra, but I also don't want my finger on there in any way. So sometimes when I have a little piece, you know, I'll use tweezers to hold it, but I didn't want tweezers to move any of that powder. So I am just going to heat it and move my little finger so I don't burn myself. So I've got my heat tool, and this is as far as I can pull it in with the way it's plugged in. So we'll just work with it here. See it turning? Heat embossing is so fascinating to me, always, because that powder just melts and totally transforms the way it looks. Do you see how it's just that glossy, embossed piece now? Let me, that little corner, and then switch where I'm holding on. Like I said, you could use tweezers, then your little fingers wouldn't burn like mine are. But then some of it would also come off. So I'm just taking one for the team. It's a little bit of burn. It's all good. All right, so here, I hope that's focusing well. Here is that layer. Now what I want to do is show you in contrast. I'm gonna go ahead and put some adhesive on the back of this square and attach it just so that I can hold on to it more easily. So I'm going to attach it right over that designer paper that I already have here at the bottom. And just kind of tap off. I have some loose powder still sticking to my fingers just a little bit. Okay, now if I pull this in and just move it in the light a little bit there, you see how that is just a glossy surface now and reflects the light. Now, I'm just going to put this here next to it as a point of comparison. This will get attached up here, but I want to show you the difference here. Can you see it? It's that gorgeous cherry cobbler pattern, but the difference is that this is just a matte finish. This is just a piece of designer paper like this, but just embossing it gives it such a different look. Such an easy thing to do. So a lot of times, you know, we use embossing, like we'll stamp an image or we'll stamp a greeting and we'll pour the powder over it and do embossing, whether it's clear powder like this or white or black or whatever it might be. But I haven't seen, and maybe please correct me if you have seen this, but I have not seen anybody just take a piece of designer paper and emboss it just for the sake of changing the surface of it. So this is really fun to me. I hope that it's something new for you, gives you a new idea, something that just inspires your creativity. So again, I'm just tapping off the excess, trying to get it off my fingers a little bit too. And we'll set that there. Now our trays have this little spout on the end, so you can funnel it back into your container so that it's like the embossing powder just lasts and lasts and lasts. Okay, let's see how I can do. It's the trick of when I was making my sample, I didn't burn my fingers, but I think it's because I'm trying to keep the heat tool on camera as well. I should have probably just grabbed an extension cord, but nonetheless, here we go. So you just want to keep that heat moving as it melts the powder. You don't want to leave it in one spot or it kind of scorches the paper. So we'll just keep it moving, get all that powder melted. Okay, get that turned off, brush my hands off a little bit, and now we've got this gorgeous shiny piece piece as well. There are so many times when I'm creating and making cards and I think, oh my goodness, I wish people could see this in person. I mean, it's pretty cool in the video. Videos are usually better than photos, but gosh, when you see it in person, it just is so stunning. All right, so I'm gonna set this, and I've got some little powder residue. That's okay. I'll just push down on the back a little bit. And now we've got those corners. So I've got the rectangular pieces and the corner pieces. Now you could have, I just chose to put mine right over the designer paper. You could have cut it and let them meet up. I liked the way it looked to have it on top of it. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is take some of this Cherry Cobbler satin ribbon, and I'm going to wrap it around this layer. And I'm going to, maybe you thought, when you said I'm going to do something I've never done, maybe you thought, oh, she's actually going to tie a bow on camera, because I never ever do that. I only do knots. So this is also something I very, very rarely do, is tie a bow on camera. So we'll give it our best shot, see how it goes. I like to pull it perpendicular. You see how the cardstock comes up a little bit? That's totally okay. Put my finger on it. Wrap this around. Boy, I did not do this. Look at what I did. It's completely uneven. I need to go this way a little bit. Give myself a little bit more to work with. All right, so now I pull it perpendicular like this and let the sides curl up a little bit. And then I'll make my loop, hold my finger on it, wrap it around. And I feel like there should be a drum roll or something. I don't know why tying bows is stressful to me. Oh, see, that's terrible. All right, I've just got to pretend I'm here by myself. No one's watching, just tie the bow. No one cares. It's all good. Much better. Okay, just needed to talk myself down a little bit. Okay, so I've got my bow, just making the loops the size I want them. And then I'm going to just scoot that over this way a little bit, pull that piece down. I'll trim those up just a bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach this to my thick white card base. And then we'll focus on the greeting layer. All right, so let's get that. Make sure I've got it going the right way. So we'll add this. I just really like the white card base too, and the way it pulls out the white from the designer paper. So you've got those white flowers in there, and that white just really pulls that and pops that white color out. Okay, so this part is fun too. I'm going to take this little strip of our gold foil paper. So we've got the clear embossed designer paper that reflects the light. And then we're also going to have some gold foil paper that reflects the light a bit. And I'm going to tuck this right underneath the ribbon just a bit. And maybe I should have done that before I put the ribbon on. It's all good. So I'll press that down. And then the last part is taking that Simply Said stamp set and my Cherry Cobbler ink, and I'm going to ink up Happy Birthday and stamp that just on this little strip of basic white. And then the last thing I want to do with that is just cut the ends at an angle before I add it to the card. So I'm just going to cut a little bit there and then make my angle go the same way. Cut a little bit there, maybe a little bit more, make it a little closer. And again, just doing the angles just adds a little bit of interest there. And then my Stampin' Dimensionals, I've mentioned before, always use those outside pieces. They're perfect for a strip like this. Of course, you can use our mini dimensionals too. I always like to use every part of my dimensional sheet. And then this I'm just going to center right There. All right, so here is my card. I'm really excited. I think you can see just all of the special details. The embossed designer paper is just a smooth, shiny finish. That gold foil paper, even the satin ribbon is just so shiny and it's got the gold foil. It's so stunning. One last little touch. I took one of our medium envelopes and grabbed some more of that designer paper. I just set it down and traced that flap over the designer paper and attached it just to make an extra special envelope to go with my card. I'd love to know what you think of this card. If you've seen that technique of just clear embossing designer paper, I sure hope you enjoyed it and that it earns your thumbs up for this episode. Be sure to click through and watch Shannon, Brandy, and Julie's videos and go back and give that thumbs up to the one that you enjoyed the most. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.